With me live in the studio is Hisham El-Ansary, the CEO of Bupa for Australia and New Zealand. Thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
In this space, Bupa has one job: to look after your clients in a caring way that protects their dignity. Why have you frequently been incapable of doing that?
Well, clearly, Lee, from the story that you've just outlined, the instances of care are totally unacceptable, and I want to unreservedly apologise to those residents and their families. We are capable of much better, and we are working very hard to restore confidence in the services that we deliver across 72 homes and 6,500 residents.
The question is, why?
I think it's evident that there was a period there where we lost our focus on what we were doing, and I can tell you that since coming into the role earlier this year, it's been my number one priority to put in place those mechanisms and new teams and new people to address these issues, and I think we've seen some progress in recent months.
You say that you lost your focus. Bupa gets nearly $500 million from the Australian taxpayer, as well as the money you receive from elderly Australians, to keep your focus. How on earth did you lose your focus?
Well, I think, Lee, what's important is that we are very much focused on getting this business back on track.
But if you don't understand why it happened, how can you do that?
I think we do understand. We've forensically gone through all of our processes and systems and made sure that we're putting in place those things that will remediate the areas where we've fallen short of standards.
So, just so our viewers understand, what did you discover was going on that allowed those sorts of conditions to flourish?
I think there's a variety of things. First and foremost, care involves people looking after people. So having good quality people who are inducted into the business well, who are trained in what they need to do, and who are totally committed to the care of elderly residents in our charge is first and foremost the most important thing. We know that having a good general manager in the home is an important indicator of quality outcomes. And in addition to those, having our own auditing a review process, much akin to what is the regulator when they go out and do audits, gives us a good indication of the areas where we're falling short.
How much profit did Bupa make overall in Australia last year?
I can't off the top tell you, but we made in the order of about 600 million across all of the businesses.
That's right, I've got the figures here. It was 560 million. Why is it so hard when you have that level of profit to recruit and retain good quality staff?
I think the challenge with recruitment is a universal challenge, and it's evident from what we're hearing coming out of the Royal Commission that particularly in regional and country areas, it's very hard to attract nurses and carers and other health professionals into that space. It's not unique to Bupa.
But if you pay them well out of your large profits, then it wouldn't be as hard.
I don't think it's just an issue of pay. I mean, we know that in other sectors it's hard to attract doctors and dentists and nurses into country and regional areas, and we're very committed to ensuring that we've got the staff we need who are well trained and focused on delivering quality care to our residents.
What do you say to the suggestion that it's greed at work, that the company maximises its profits and gets away with the smallest and cheapest workforce that it can, even when it comes at the expense and dignity of vulnerable people?
Well, what I would say is that actually we've been increasing staff and we've been increasing the training that we provide those staff to deliver for the residents in our care. So I don't agree that we've been cutting back. In fact, I would say that we've been investing many millions actually over the past year to address the shortcomings that are evident and to put us in a position where we are delivering to the standard that our residents both expect and deserve.
You started off by saying that you're sorry, and I'm very sure that you are, I don't question that, but I'm paid to sit here and ask you what a reasonable, fair-minded person watching at home might want to ask you, the kind of person that would put your mum or their mum or dad in one of your facilities. I suspect that kind of person might think, when they hear an answer like, I'm sorry and we've made changes, variations of which they've heard from bank bosses, insurance companies, financial advisors, the Catholic Church, even the Australian cricket team, is that they are fed up to the back teeth with powerful people and institutions who promise to do one thing, then do another, and then when called on it, sit here and say, oh, I'm sorry, we're making some changes?
I think that's a fair comment, Lee, and what I would say in response is the changes are evident by outcomes, in my view. And your online story today reported that we'd had 45 homes out of our 72 that were falling short of standards. And what I can say to you is that as we sit here today, we have 18. Now, that's 18 too many, and I'm absolutely committed to having all of our homes operating effectively within the compliance regime that exists.
And within what sort of time frame? Because if you're somebody with a loved one in one of those 18 homes...
Well, I'm committed to doing it over the next couple of months, and I've already said that internally, and I've said it in other forums. It's my absolute number one priority as CEO of this company to get our performance and restore our reputation and credibility, because I know, if I may, that we have 9,000 people who come to work every day really wanting to do a good job, and for those people, anybody who's been in aged care or had to look after an ageing relative will know it's a very, very difficult job.
What does Bupa think is the right staffing ratio? How many carers per patient?
I don't know that there is a right staffing ratio. A lot of the clinicians that we have on our teams say to me what's important is actually understanding the health status of individual residents in individual homes. Do they have dementia? Do they have multiple conditions? And making sure that the ratio or the relationship of qualified nurses to assistant nurses to carers is appropriate for the mix of that home. And it's also interestingly important that the architecture of the home also dictates what an appropriate staffing mix is. If it's got a lot of different wings, you can't quite supervise and oversight what's going on effectively.
If you came back in here for an interview in 1 year, will those 18 homes be sorted out?
I'm absolutely committed to do that.
Mr. El-Ansary, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.